We're happy back this morning. Yes, we're happy. We're happy. We're happy. Oh dear. Kevin, good morning. Welcome along. Welcome along. I'm just about to do my quick introduction, so bear with me. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome along to Crighton Pet Services virtual dog walk. I'm Stephen Crighton, and you join me and my pack on, what are we on? Monday, the 14th of July, halfway through the month. And it is summer here in Scotland, in case you're watching from anywhere else around the globe. It's our summertime, and today I've got full wax jacket on, full sort of rain gear, because it is damp, it is drizzly, it is grey. It is fantastic for the dogs, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'll show you, if I can, I'll try and show you something you might think is quite interesting. So I don't know if you can see the difference in the dry part of my trouser leg and the wet part. It's maybe not that interesting or fascinating to you, but do you see this stuff here? I don't know what colour this is. This kind of top part of the grass. Let's come down to it a little bit. Do you see this kind of, there's grass, and then there's this stuff that kind of pops up, and this stuff is just saturated, absolutely saturated. You maybe see it here just behind Ruby. It's a bit purpley almost. I don't know what I'm not that good with colours anyway, the best of the time, but this sort of patchy stuff here, this stuff here is like, it just soaks onto the water, and that's the stuff the dogs are loving running through. And so they are absolutely saturated already. We're only 20 minutes into our session, and I'm already envisaging at least 6 or 7 towels for our session. A little Chip here decided to wear his anorak. Nell was actually going to wear hers as well, but hers was a bit bigger, a bit bulkier, so we've decided against that. But yeah, I think the dogs will have been looking forward to this. If you're not from Edinburgh and you're watching from somewhere else in the world, the last sort of 2 months we've had temperatures of like high 20 degrees or mid 20 degrees, and for Edinburgh, you know, in the winter it'll maybe get down to like -10, and in the summer, you know, mid 20s is probably the hottest we would get. So it has been the hottest that I've known it consistently with the dogs. So a day like today is fantastic for them, just to get a bit of reprieve from that heat, a little bit of play in the cooler air, although it is actually still quite hot and sticky today, I have to say. And of course, because they're wet, they're kind of behaving a bit differently, as you would if you were, I'm sure some people will remember doing the ice bucket challenge a few years ago and things like that, and I think it's had a regeneration in popularity, hasn't it? So people who have done that know what that cold water does to your body. It makes you quite alive, shall we say, and the same thing's happening to the dogs with just being in the conditions. They're a bit sprightlier than they've been, certainly in the last couple of months. Some of the days that we've been out, it has been a real slog. In fact, if you tuned in on Friday, you maybe saw us. We just literally hung out in the shade of a tree, the 8 dogs that I had out with me on then, and it wasn't a massively energetic session for the pack. It was good fun though. We enjoyed our little time together, a little bit of social time, a little bit of dog watching, similar to people watching, but just with puppies instead of people, and just watching how they behaved in the heat and what they did, being in each other's company and so close to each other and stuff like that. It was fascinating. I'm going this way, guys. Alfie, come on. Alfie, come on. So if you're new here, welcome along. Thank you for tuning in. You're joining us on our dog walk. You guys don't have to get wet. You don't have to get down and dirty or deal with the elements. You can just watch along and join in if you like. If you want to chat away, you'll be the only human interaction I'll get for a good few hours. So crack on, tell me a joke, let me know where you're watching from, I don't know, ask about the dogs, tell if everything's okay with the stream, criticise what we're doing. We've had it all. So yeah, jump on board, jump into the comments, let us know. And if you do hang around for a little while with us, which we encourage you to do, if you find yourself here for more than a minute or so, why not hit that subscribe button? That would be nice to come and join our little community. We go live every day around about the same time, and if you can't make the live stream, the video of this goes up on the channel afterwards, and you can watch it back at a time that suits you maybe a bit better, especially if you're watching from the States, which is now my top demographic of population. Yes, so if it's probably quite early at certain parts of the US just now, so if you can't always make this early time, why not subscribe, and then you can watch it back at a better time that suits you. But it's fascinating. There'll be a lot of people on here that make content, I'm sure, but there will be a few of you that don't, and you maybe don't realise that YouTube's analytics is actually quite fascinating. It's quite clever. It tells you certain things like where your population are watching from, and I mean, I don't know where in the world you're watching from, I just know that the country of origin that your view comes from, and it doesn't even happen straight away, it's a week or so later. But it is fascinating. It is fascinating. And about, I think when I checked on Friday, it was like 23% are watching from the US. So, and that was my top area. So even here in the UK where I'm from, it was only something like 17%. That was the next biggest one. And then after that, we had like really random parts of the globe that I wouldn't have thought we'd appeal to at all. I didn't even think I'd appeal to anyone out with my clients, but we've managed to grow quite a fascinating audience. It is interesting, I have to say. It is quite fascinating. So 5 AM in central US just now. So yeah, so that's the reason to hit the subscribe button, in case you're not an early bird and you're not up at this time most days. Then you don't need to set your alarm. You can just watch it when you are awake. A little bit more about the pack. So we've got 8 of them out just now, which is allowed in Edinburgh. We're allowed to have this number together. To be honest, we could have more, but it's we'll not get into that territory today. But anyway, so we've got 8. I do the dogs in combinations of around about 8. Some days it's maybe 6, some days it's 7, but most of the time we're out with 8 dogs because the business is going well, and that's again thanks to the people like you watching along and providing a bit of digital support to a small business. The clients of these dogs see that, and then if they're thinking about using my services, some of you guys have asked the questions that make it you know, that people might want to ask and things like that. So yeah, so it's going really well, and we've got 27 dogs that we look after all together. So they're in different combinations, but you'll probably be able to tell, even if you're not a hugely enthusiastic dog person. As someone in the chat has already asked, is there no Doberman? No, because we split these guys by the size. So we've only got small dogs. Chipperoo, are you the smallest? Are you the littlest? You've certainly got the shortest height from ground. I don't know about weight-wise, that's getting into a bit personal territory for you guys, isn't it? And no, we'll not ask personal questions to the puppies. But yeah, so we do it by size. And then this afternoon, and we tend not to go live in the afternoon as often as we do with the little guys. but the afternoon session is for bigger dogs. And if I did have a Doberman, they'd be out on that afternoon session, but we don't actually have one as part of the team. They're not a massively popular dog here in the UK. They're lovely dogs, don't get me wrong, but I will work a lot more closely with working breeds. So in the UK, for my bigger session, it'll be Labradors and Pointers will be the main bigger dogs. We've got 3 of each of those. And if you are a real dog person, so that HPR, the Hunt Point Retrieve breeds, are the ones that we'll have most of in the afternoon, but we also have quite a few Border Terriers as well, and we have 3 of them out this morning. At the very back of the pack here is Juno, then we've got Barney, then Alfie, another Border Terrier, and then here we've got Stanley, another Border Terrier. We've got Chip, we've got Nelly now, hello, see, Edith and Ruby. That's a team. That's a team. And we're almost about halfway there to a very interesting thing. So I always say on the streams, if we can get to 10 likes, I'll give the dogs a biscuit on camera for you guys. Random rewards are the best way to train your dog, so to get them at random times. So we'll get 10 likes at different times throughout our sessions, and being randomly rewarded for something is the best way to keep engaged with it. And if you don't believe me, just ask anyone who plays jackpots or slot machines or that kind of thing. It's there's been a lot of studies on this with dogs and with people, and there's a huge amount of evidence to say that when you're randomly rewarded, there is more buy-in than when you are regularly rewarded. So we'll give these guys a little biscuit for their good work and their good behaviour if and when we hit 10 likes. So we're at 7 just now, so their feeding is in your hands, guys. It's over to you. It's over to you. Let me catch up with some of the comments. I see that there's been a few coming in here just now. I've read a couple. It's 5 o'clock in the States, 5 AM, no Doberman. What time is it in the UK? It is 12 minutes past 11 in the UK, in the morning, obviously, in case there's any doubt. Broke has subbed, thank you. Mayak, how are you doing, bud? How are you doing? I hope you're still here. I saw that, I only just saw that chat come through. How are we? Yeah, just after 11 in the UK. We're in a bit, I'll show you, just turn around, I'll show you where we are. This is like a nature reserve where we are, but this is in the centre of the capital of Scotland. So our capital city is Edinburgh, and right now I'm going to try and get where Ruby is now. I'll stop and turn around and show you. We might see a bit better, hang on. No, not quite. So off in this direction behind this hill is the city centre. It's literally just on the side of this hill. There's hundreds of houses. I thought we might be able to see the rooftops or the outlines of some of the buildings from here in that direction, but not really. That's the university. And this is the observatory. And this shape in the background. Another great place to walk the dogs, but it's very popular for tourists, is that hill. That's Arthur's Seat. That's an extinct or a dormant volcano. Not sure which actually. If it's extinct or if it's dormant. I'm not sure what the right term is, but... Are we enjoying it, Sweet Pea? Are we enjoying it? Yes, we are. So yeah, so to have this kind of space right on our doorstep, right in the centre of the city, is awesome. And you'll notice we've not seen a single soul. There's no one around, which makes it even better. Good for the wildlife, good for the dogs, good for the dog's enrichment, because people don't come here. And they don't come here for good reason, right? I'll tell you about that in a second. But because people don't come here, the like, there's no mess, there's no litter, so the animals that live here can just go about their business relatively undisturbed. And the dogs actually love that, because there's lots of natural enrichment around for them to get their nose into. Animal droppings, animal trails, and just especially this time of year, a bit interesting. All the animals are sort of maturing that were born in the spring, but come the end of the summer, the beginning of the autumn, we'll hit mating season for a few of them, and then that changes everything again. The dogs really pick up on some of those things, and it's quite fascinating. But people don't come here for one real specific reason. You okay, Junebug? You alright? And that is, well, I wonder if you can guess. I wonder if you can guess. I will tell you. The answer is ticks. If you're not familiar with ticks, they are nasty creatures. Chipperoo! Chip! We're along here, buddy boy. Come on, little legs. I love it. Well done, little man. Well done. I don't know where you were going though. Are you following your nose? Are you following your nose? Hi, Nell. Thank you. Yeah, ticks here in the UK are no laughing matter. And this place is pretty significantly populated with them. The other day I dropped Ruby off. It was a day like this actually. We had one day of rain last week, and I dropped Ruby off and she had 3 ticks on her coat that were just walking along the top of her coat, and I was able to just pick them off and squash them in my hands, so they hadn't buried in yet. That was 3, and these guys are treated, so it's amazing to think what's going on here. And last week I saw, as I said, we've had phenomenal weather here in Scotland. It's been real good, sunny, warm weather, and people, the few people I did see here sunbathing and picnicking, I had to say to them, oh guys, you know, you've got nothing on, you're wearing like swimwear. I said, make sure you check each other out for ticks. And one couple were like, what are ticks? And I was like, oh, you should not rely on me to tell you, you should just Google it. And the dogs and I walked away from them, and I have never seen people move so fast in my life. When they obviously got the phone out, realised, oh my god. And I sort of said to them, you know, these guys are just covered in them all the time. So apparently if there has been livestock in a place like this in the last 50 years, the ticks will keep living on. So even sort of up to sort of 50 years after the livestock has been removed. So I don't know quite how true that is, but that's certainly something I've heard. But I know that there has not been livestock here since I've been running the business, best part of 10 years. And we're still finding them all the time on the dogs, so yuck. But nature's way of keeping it nice and peaceful for us. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Edith? Isn't that right? Yeah, you're going to say that. Have you got that problem there as well? It's, you know, especially the conditions that we have here where it's wet and warm and animals live. It's, yeah, you can't escape these kind of things. So nature's security guard, right? But it's not, I mean, it's no laughing matter. We shouldn't sort of joke about it. Lyme disease is a pretty wild thing. I actually know someone with it, and she's kind of constantly feeling like she has the flu and really ill, just like constantly throughout the whole year, non-stop, and there's no cure for it. So yeah, not nice, not nice. Anyway, let's talk about something else. So that's why it's quite quiet. There's a lone thistle, the flower of Scotland, and it's kind of like a little pineapple, isn't it? Can I get in that out of focus? Can you see it? And the rumour is that the Romans weren't able to invade Scotland, and neither were the English, because of the thistle, and because they become very sharp and spiky when fully grown. And when these armies were here trying to invade, they would stand on them and get pricked and let away their passion, and then it would be very easy for my countrymen to defeat them, because they knew exactly where they were, even in the dark. And that's the rumour. I don't know, again, I'm probably just telling you guys a lot of nonsense today, but it's a romantic rumour, isn't it? Yeah, this is Chip. Crafty Clark, have you not met Chip yet? Chip's it's funny because Chip actually only comes out every other week, so he's not with us every week. He's only with us every other week. So I suppose it'd be easy to miss him if you weren't. I know you tune in a lot, but you know, you could easily join me all week one week and then just but be the wrong week for Chip joining us. So he's so much fun. He's a new dog though. He's relatively new. We've only taken him on this year, same as Edith and same as Stanley. Actually, where's Stanley? Hey buddy, that's 3 that we've taken on this year, and he's doing great. He's such a good little pup. He's funny. He's got a huge character for the smallest dog on the team. He's got no fear. He's a very brave little puppy. Will go up to any dogs, any people. I mean, obviously we don't like, you know, should be careful what I'm saying here, this will upset people. You know, I'm not the type of person to go, don't worry, my dog's friendly, and let them rush around and jump up to people. But he, in instances when we can say hi to people, he's straight in. I've completely lost touch of what's going on. We've got 11 likes, and I said if we get 10, you guys could feed the dogs. So this is on you. Thank you for your likes. For every 10 sets of likes we get, we'll give them a little biscuit. Thank you guys. Hey Barney, right now bud. There's Nelly now. There's Juno. There's Stanley. Good boy. There's Barney. Good boy. Good Edith. Sit nice, Alfie. Thank you. Good Alfie. Chip, thank you. Off you get. Off you get. Thank you, buddy. Good boy. Good Ruby. Good puppies. Good puppies. So an important part of this is that we don't want them fighting over the food. So you saw there, they all waited their turn. A couple of them were a bit eager. They're jumping up on my leg, but they're waiting their turn quite nicely. And they're not fighting over the food, so we're not resource guarding that food. We're not stressed that this is the only food I get. And this is part of the thing. I actually spoke about this maybe 10 minutes ago or so. I'll refresh your memory in case you're just joining us. Random rewards at random times provide a much better set of engagement to the dogs than rewarding them regularly for everything that they do well. So if I'm just doing it very randomly, very sporadically, we get much better buy-in, and they will do what I ask of them more regularly as a result of thinking, maybe it's this time I'm going to get the reward, maybe it's next time, kind of thing. And there's been a lot of study about this, about rewarding regularly, so rewarding every bit of good behaviour that we see versus just rewarding randomly. And Sorry, Ruby has decided she wants to go down this way. We've not actually spoke about Ruby being on the long line yet. We'll talk about that next. But so rewarding randomly works when the dog's trained and knows what's coming. So it knows that if I ask them to come and sit down, they can sit down and they don't run away and all this kind of thing. So they're already, even although we've got a couple of newbies, we've got Chip, we've got Edith, and we've got Stanley. They already know. They know the drill. They get it. They understand. And so, because they know what's coming, because they know how I work, so when I randomly reward them, they're kind of always paying attention to what's going on. They're always curious as to where I am. Look at this bit of play with Alfie and Ruby. I'm going to let Ruby off the lead so she can have a run. Hang on. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry, this is hard with one hand. There we go. You're free, sweetie. You're free. So yeah, so they get that random the random reward helps them to be more focused on what's going on, and it's the same logic that's applied to like casino slot machines. If you won every single time, it wouldn't be exciting. It wouldn't give you the same sort of hit in your brain. Whereas when you get that random reward, it's much better feeling. Look at Alfie licking Ruby. Is she tasty, buddy? Is she tasty? Good little show of the sort of psychological safety in the pack. Ruby's quite happy for a dog she doesn't live with and, you know, doesn't have a particularly interesting bond with one way or another. She's just quite an easygoing dog, but letting another dog lick her is testament to how well these guys sort of know and trust each other. So it's good. I like that kind of stuff. I like showing you that kind of stuff because I could easily have missed that. Could easily have just picked up on the wrong thing there. So there we go. But Ruby's on the long line for the most part because she can't be trusted. She's one of the only few dogs that all of this great random rewarding and all the great training doing with the other guys, it just doesn't seem to be as effective on her. Part of that is breed. So breed specific, she's got a very good nose. Out of the 27 dogs that I work with, I think her nose is either first or second in terms of how good it is. But she has very little impulse control. So look at this, the line is tight and she just wants to follow her nose. And that's likely because maybe a deer has ran down there and she's interested in following the smell. Maybe there's a fox, maybe there's a bird. And you see, it's interesting because it's very specific to Ruby. None of the others wanted to go that way. None of the others are that interested. And because she's came back and joined us, I could reward her for that good behaviour. Ruby, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. But if we do that regularly, it has a lesser effect. So we need to do it a bit randomly. And although she's just had a biscuit, she's had one more. And now everyone else is wondering why they didn't get one. Yeah. Why did she get a biscuit? Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you. She did well. She did well. She did something. She did something. I know. They're all energised from this water. Let me catch up with some of the comments again. PG says cute, they're also well behaved. We do our best. The dogs get a report after the end of each session that we do. The owners get a little report, and it's always fascinating to recap the day and talk about how responsive they've been and what challenges we've been faced with and what distractions have been up ahead and things. But the reality is that they're very, very well behaved. on the grand scheme of things, which is amazing. I don't know how to say your name, but you've said hi and you say cute dogs. Thank you. We appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. Crafty Clark says, what a blessing you are to these puppy families. That's so kind. Guys, I'm just a normal person doing my job, right? And every day I get caught out by beautiful comments like that. That's so kind. I hope, you know, part of the reason for starting the business, the dog that was around when I started the business meant a great deal to me and had an amazing life. And I just kind of wanted to show other dogs the same amount of love and the same life as she came to the end of her time with us. So it was part of the reason that started kicking off the business, and I think that that mindset's kind of done me quite well. You know, do it for the dogs. It's for them. It's for them. And now I get to show you guys, and it's lovely to show you and for you to be part of it as well and come along this journey with us as well. It's nice. So thank you. I do appreciate those kind of comments. Like, they mean so much. I really do take a lot away from things like that being said. So it's nice to be, for it to be seen and noticed, and yeah, and these guys know, like, they appreciate it. I get every time I pick them up or drop them off, you wouldn't believe the adoration that we get for going out on what is something so simple for them. Just like, we're going out for a dog walk, guys, but they just love it. So I get that side of it as well. I should try and show you guys that side of it a bit more. I maybe need to ask the families if it's okay to, like, film in the house and things, but some of them just, I mean, I get flattened sometimes, but I've almost had my teeth knocked out as well from, there's one of our Labradors, Rua. Oh my goodness, she just jumps up at me all the time, and her head is like a bowling ball. It's so dense. She's hit me in the face like about 4 times, and she's hit me in the teeth once, and I genuinely thought I was going to have to go and, like, cancel my day and go to the dentist. It was so bad, but it was okay in the end. I was maybe just being a bit dramatic, but oh, so they are happy pups when I pick them up. It's funny. It's funny. This is a great question. So I'm just reading the chat here, and is it Ulrich? Sorry, my screen is really weirdly lit up at the moment. I can't really see it very well because of the light. Any tips on dogs that have anxiety? Yeah, I've got some. It'd be better to know a little bit more about a dog. So if you want to let me know, like, the breed and the age and if you've got any idea what might be causing the anxiety, that would be wonderful to know. But I would definitely start with the basics. So what are the basics? What do the dogs need? Well, they need a roof over their head. They need food. They need water. They need exercise. They need time outside. They need time to do their own thing. They need love. They need support. They need understanding. So from that point of view, the basics, I would be looking at, like, what does the diet provide? What kind of diet are we on? There's a website called allaboutdogfood.com. I don't know if someone can type that into the chat to help Ulrich get this, but allaboutdogfood.com gives you a score for the food that you give your dog as a percentage. And I would say that if the score that you give your dog is like 70% or less, you're probably not setting your dog up for success, is the first thing that I would say. So try and improve that diet if you can. I know that's not always easy and not always practical for people, but have a look at that have a look at the brands that you've given your dog in the past or that you know about, and look at that score. Some of the very, very well-known brands that are advertised on the telly all the time are scoring like 15% and things like that. So you want to make sure that the dog is getting as good a diet as you can possibly give them. That would be my first thing. Next thing is like exercise and sleep. So dogs, to be able to process their day, they need to sleep it off, and it's how you build like parts of the brain up. And when you're training a dog in particular, if you're training them a new skill, the best way to cement that skill in their brain is for them to sleep immediately after you do it. So, hey Chip, no, you have to sleep. You have to sleep. So definitely try and get the dog as much sleep as you can possibly get, especially after exercise, if that's possible. And we're talking, depending on the breed, and I've still not seen a, you have a dash hound, love it. So, oh no, sorry, that's not Ulrich, that was a different comment that you have a dash hound. Sorry, I thought it was dash hound specific, but I'm getting confused. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. So yeah, so definitely make sure the dog's sleeping, and I think you're probably talking like, and without much exaggeration here, if they're not sleeping for at least 12 hours, then you're going to have behavioural problems for sure, and anxiety could be part of that. And then above that, you probably want, depending on the breed and the age, like, I don't know, up to anything up to 16 hours a day would be quite good, but 12 is probably a good starting point for where you're going. So if you're not getting 12 hours, the dog's not getting a good 12 hours worth of sleep, that's a massive factor for it. It's something that Stanley's struggling with a little bit, is switching off. And you need to switch that brain off, you need to let it cool down and reset and kind of get things organised again. Process all the stress of the day. And sleeping it off is by far one of the most effective ways to do it. Then the sort of the final part of those basics then would be like, what exercise are we getting the dog doing? And I would say there's 3 forms of exercise that the dogs need to be undertaking, like maybe not every single day, but every week. And those 3 forms are physical exercise. So Ruby running past us there is not a good example of physical exercise. She's ran 2 meters, you know. We need to have a bit of running, or a good amount of low intensity walking, which is what you guys are watching just now. So if they run around wild, these guys don't really do it as much, but my afternoon guys and the labs and pointers, they do it a lot more. If they can run around a lot more, that's even better. But if not, lots of long, low intensity walks, that's good. And then they need mental stimulation as well, so problem solving. We need to be well trained. So I'm just going to show you here just now. This path goes this way, but we're actually going to go the way that Edith goes. So watch this just now. Great example of mental stimulation here. We're going this way. Good puppies. So things like that, and then watch. Guys, this way. This way. Come on. Edith. They've just had to operate their brain a little bit. Alfie's even hanging back and going, what's going on? Why do we go that way and then come back that way? So changing direction. Really simple thing. Really simple. But everybody was engaged. Everybody was looking. Everybody was aware of what was being asked of them. It was a very straightforward task. It was done perfectly. And if I wasn't showing you guys this, I'd probably reward the dogs for doing that as well. But we can reward them with our words. Well done, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. So going back to that, you need physical exercise as one aspect of the dog's development. You need mental stimulation as a second aspect. And then really importantly, you need an outlet. Now outlets are breed specific traits. So for a Border Terrier, that might be digging or ripping up a teddy bear or something like that. For Ruby, the Beagle, that's following her nose, following a scent trail, and being encouraged to follow that scent trail, making her own decisions, that kind of thing. So each different breed has its own set of natural behaviours, shall we say, that needs to be kind of an outlet for it, needs to happen. And that could be a weekly thing. You know, we maybe get like, Chip, Ruby, good girl, good Ruby, good you guys, good puppies. Get into the wet stuff again. So we make sure that, you know, once a week we go on a big, long, extra long walk to try and fulfill some of our needs. Or we go to the beach and we can dig up the sand. Or we go into the heather and we bounce through the heather once a week. Or something like that. But again, it would depend on the actual breed itself. So if you had that to hand, that would be helpful to know. So that's the basics. I would suggest if you can, hello puppy, this is not one of our dogs. Hello. You see this dog here? It's not one of ours. We're going to keep moving.